play Kentucky.
Oh.
Oh,
And he already left, but I want to hear it.
Going to bed.
Going to bed.
Going to bed. 6:05. Going to bed.
When I lived in California, I took some songwriting classes from a guy named Jack Siegel, and he wrote songs like Scarlet Ribbons and When Sunny Gets Blue. You know, some older folks may know that one. But then Jason Bloom, he wrote a song called Change My Mind. And but Jack Siegel made the biggest impression on me. He you know, one part of the class that we took was we'd play something that's somebody else wrote, and we said, well, how can we pick this apart and you know, learn from it? And somebody had Mill Workers song from James Taylor, Mill Workers something or other, I forget what it was. And afterwards I said, man, I wish I could write songs like that. And Jack looked at me and goes, well, why don't you? I said, well, I don't know. So then I didn't get any sleep that night. And for the first time in my life, I stayed up all night and wrote a song. And he said, well, write about what you know. Well, my dad was in World War II, and he was in the Pacific Theater, and his ship got hit by a kamikaze. And he was one of the few that survived. Otherwise, none of us would be here tonight. And so I took that, and I, you know, laid there in bed thinking of the lyrics. I said, I got to get up and write them down. So I wrote the lyrics down, and I put this song together. It's called Kentucky. He made sense of it all. So. He was called Kentucky because he called that state his home. Sailors took to nicknaming from wherever they did roam. The war, it brought a battle, and Kentucky's ship was down. But he swam through the waters till the other 6 and we were finally found. Yeah, he made sense of it all, the dying and the living, the duty and its call. He made sense of it all. Yeah, he made sense of it all. Then he left Kentucky, moving on to the Midwest, giving space in a factory, painting tractors at his best. The war now was 8 to 5. He tended bar after dark. Somehow he taught his kids to strive, believe their lives were more than just a lark. Yeah, he made sense of it all, the dying and the living, the duty and its call. He made sense of it all. Yeah, he made sense of it all. He dreams of sailing out on the sea in a ship of his own. He feels so free, and in his face he'd feel the ocean breeze in a ship that he would call Kentucky. Kentucky's in his 70s, the children have grown and gone, but his golf game's in the 90s, and he still goes home to give his strength to our mom. Yeah, he made sense of it all, the dying and the living, the duty and its call. He made sense of it all. Yeah, he made sense of it all. means to me. Kentucky. Kentucky.